This is E-commerce Uncensored. Brought to you by Fast Forward Unlimited. We're coming to you fully loaded and exposed with all the strategies and techniques for growing your e-commerce business.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us on another episode of E-commerce Uncensored. This is episode number 98. My name is Kevin Manell, and I'm here with
Jason Caruso
and Paul Chu.
You all right there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm choking.
Already? You didn't even say anything yet.
It's coming.
So on today's episode, we're going to talk about something that we, think is one of the most important parts of a whole marketing strategy.
Well, let's step back a little bit there.
Okay. You're always stepping me back.
Yeah, because you one thing that even like in your emails, you give no context. It's just like
Diving right in.
It's just like right. So one of our listeners, Jake, awesome guy, reached out to us and asked. He listens to us for his own personal needs, right? He has like his own little store, and then the company he works for, which is like a giant cosmetic company. Like I'm hearing all kinds of numbers: 700 million, 500 million, 600 million. They're huge.
They're big.
And we just got back from California because we met with them because they're kicking off a new project, and they hired us to help them with this new project. And we went there. We were in this meeting with like 20 people. 20?
Yeah.
12.
Well,
A dozen.
12?
Yeah.
the story is funny. We traveled out there. We took a 7:00 flight out of Newark, and we got there around 11. Long ass flight, 6 hours. It was pretty brutal. And then we, by the time we got to our hotel, we changed and got ready. We walked into the meeting, and it was just like complete. We caught us off guard a little bit. There was a lot of people there, and we got into this right away.
We walked into this like,
and
giant.
we were like, we could barely keep our eyes open.
We were starving. We didn't eat.
But it was cool. I mean, we met a lot of great people while we were there, and again with the phone, I don't understand.
What could you be doing?
Again with the phone?
All right, go
Why?
ahead. Go.
We gotta have him put it in a bowl before we do
I'm
this.
not really interested in what you have to say. Go ahead.
Anyway, no, we had this really, really great meeting with this new client of ours, and
Right. So we sit down with these guys, right? And they obviously have their shit together, right? All these different people, all these different, and they're having a difficult time selling online, right? They're like an MLM, multi-level marketing company, and they're huge, like we said.
it's actually not really multi-level right now. It's really just a single level.
But
It's a consultant base.
it's a consulting, It's
So
direct.
they don't really sell anything online right now.
Right. So one thing that was clear is that one of their biggest problem is like they don't really have a real message, right? And that's one of our. We were kind of tasked to come up with something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to necessarily go with exactly what we come up with because there's so many layers to that company that they're going to have to. They're probably going to mark it up with a red pen, like so to speak.
Well, I think that's one of the issues that they have is like they have a big company. There's a lot of people that are deep into this product that have been into it for so long that they needed some outside influence to get themselves out of their their current situation.
Right. And it goes back and basically what the whole point of this is like the importance of having a message. And whether you're a big giant company like them or like a small startup company, it's all the same, right? And we're going to talk about that. But before we do, we are going to plug our favorite email marketing platform, which is Klaviyo.
And your grease covered
disregard that
sweatshirt.
smudge.
My grease. I love this Klaviyo hoodie because I don't really have any hoodies. I really like it.
You got to write them and get a new one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, wonder if I can get them to send me another one.
We should get some hoodies.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
you're right. And so if you're, you looked at our stats, man. People are using this link.
Yeah.
ecommerceuncensored.com/email. It will redirect you to Klaviyo, and we're getting a ton of people going to Klaviyo and signing up. So if you've done that, thanks a lot. You probably have made some money from it.
Yeah.
Like one of our guys, Josh, sent me a message on Facebook.
No, he sent you he direct texted you, didn't he?
Direct
He
text.
doesn't have my name. He sent me a message on Facebook. He doesn't
it
have
was?
my number.
Oh, okay. Maybe when you showed it to me, it looked like a text message because you were in Facebook Messenger.
No, and he basically said, "Hey Jason, I just wanted to say thanks for making such an awesome podcast, an amazing podcast. I know you mentioned it before when I wrote it several months back." I don't know what that means. Wait, what did he say? He said, "I just wanted to say thanks for making an awesome podcast. I know I've mentioned it before when I wrote several months back. We started making about $100 a month. We started out making $100 a month. We're seeing steady growth and haven't had any declines in sales from the previous ones. We're on track to gross $100,000.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's insane.
Crazy.
And he is a Klaviyo customer.
He
I'm
is a
sure
Klaviyo
that's a
customer.
huge part
And
of it.
I'm sure it's a huge part of it. He is a Klaviyo customer, and that's basically, we recommend. This is the only company we recommend at this point, and it's because we are so confident between the people at the company and what the platform does that whatever you invest in the platform, you're going to make money. In fact, the big meeting we had, they're using MailChimp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Insane. A big giant company like this is using MailChimp, and they're going to switch over to Klaviyo.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're using MailChimp, if you're using Aweber, I don't know, whoever you're using, go use Klaviyo. You will make money.
And Klaviyo, whatever they're doing, it's like they're really becoming like a main player in this whole thing. Every other plugin that we use, you see they integrate with Klaviyo. Most of them that we've seen.
Anyway, ecommerceuncensored.com/email. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then also our Facebook group, ecommerce.com/Facebook. It will redirect you to our group. So again, sorry guys, ecommerceuncensored.com/Facebook, ecommerceuncensored.com/email.
Yeah, and mostly you mentioned we're getting a lot of people going over to Klaviyo. It's actually, the stats show that people are actually going to our site and then clicking on the Klaviyo link. So if you just go to our site, you'll see there's a link there as well.
Yeah.
If that's easier for you to remember.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about messaging. Now, we were just having a conversation this morning about, what we tend to do is when we meet with a new client and we're trying to, think of all these strategies, we tend to start asking people what they think. And Paul's girlfriend is also a quote-unquote UX.
She's a designer.
She's a designer,
Yeah.
right. And she works for like some big companies like Time Magazine and who else? I mean, you know better than me.
Forbes, Time, and Loft.
Right. So 3 giant companies.
Mm-hmm.
So we, Paul tend to ask her, this particular product we're talking about, this company is like a female. It's a skincare product. So like
She's their demographic that they're trying to sell to.
Right,
Aside
she's
from her work experience. She's 25.
25
And she uses cosmetics and stuff, so.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we were in this meeting with this company, and they're really excited about this, like the science behind their product and how and what it does, right? But when Paul went to his girlfriend and said, "Hey, this, what," and I don't want to mention the ingredients or anything or what it does, but hey, this comes from this animal, and it does this, and she's like,
Didn't matter.
I don't really care.
It didn't matter. One, I think, like we talked about earlier, people either already assume that because other brands and other companies like have the same ingredients.
Right.
And
So
then
basically,
two,
people are saying like our stuff is the best because of this.
right, because the reasons why most consumers don't really care about.
Right. And everybody thinks their product is the best.
Right. So yeah, she discounted that reasoning, and her number one thing was just the branding. It was the packaging, it was the messaging, and it was the lifestyle that it gives off. The brand identity is going to make her choose one brand over another.
Right. So you use the word branding, but that's not really what it like. Because she's a designer, that's maybe how she, communicated it to you. But basically, what it really is like what the company stands for, what exactly does it do for her, so to speak, right? Like those are the sort of things that she's interested in, right? Branding is just like a word that you used because that's what your world, that's what it is.
That's sort of what branding is, though. I mean, I know.
Yeah, but
I know
my wife would never say it's the branding. She would be like,
because she doesn't know the terms, but
that's
everything
what I'm
she'll
saying.
describe means branding.
Exactly.
So I'm just
So what I'm saying is, just for people who aren't in that world,
Yes.
You know, basically what she means is how it communicates, what the message is, you know, what they stand for,
Yes, exactly.
right? And you know, like you guys out there, it's like, I think that's like one of the number one things that I think store owners miss, right? Is a message, like a message, and not just a message, right? Like if you guys are familiar with Tom's Shoes, right? Tom's like one of the first online companies to do this, like years and years and years ago, right? They didn't sell the shoe. Their shoes are crap. I mean, if you broke them down and you like compared them to like some other like, you know,
It's inexpensive material. It's
Right.
nothing fancy.
but what they sold was that they donated, you know, another pair of shoes to some like people in Africa, right? So like people who care about donating the shoes, like attached to that,
Yeah.
right? And their shoes have actually gotten very stylish, but that was like secondary. Like their shoes weren't like, they sold a pretty average product, like a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because people will, when you have a message that they can connect to, people care more about that than they do really what they're buying, right?
Do you remember that company that we watched when we went to Klaviyo, Boston? The guy was selling toilet paper. Remember that?
Right.
Remember that guy? He was selling paper, but behind that, it was like 50% of every roll that he sold went to like a third world country to build bathrooms or build toilets or whatever it may be. I mean, he did have a creative concept behind his product, but in the end, it's still toilet paper.
Yeah.
It's more important that he didn't say like, my toilet paper is 2-ply or my toilet paper is soft. It's like, this is a completely different thing. There's a story behind it, and you guys should follow it.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Quip all the time, the toothbrush, right? Like I have an Oral-B electric toothbrush that cost me, I don't know, $39. I was in Target the other day. Like Quip has like $100.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Quip, they have those in the store?
Yeah, they had it in Target.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I still have not bought that, by the way.
yeah. It's a $100 electric toothbrush, right? Like, but people are attaching to like with their message, right? Like brush better.
And
Right?
it's so simple. It's 2 words, and when you go to their website, especially on mobile, I noticed it's like the message is so strong. When you get there, you're like, yeah, like it's not just a toothbrush.
And the website is so simple, and I think that's what people are buying into.
Yeah,
You brush better with the product, but well, brushing my teeth shouldn't be this big, you know,
Deal.
ordeal. Exactly. Like it's simple. It's super clean. It's elegant. Like this is what I am now. I'm a young professional brushing my teeth, and boom.
I think Quip has the same sort of allure as Apple, right? It's like cool and sleek, and it's like you almost buy it because they make you feel like you're cool if you use it,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a rotating brush.
I've been on that website several
Vibrating.
times, and I know we keep
Yeah.
talking about it. And they really never mention if the toothbrush is really that good at all.
No.
I don't even. Well, I know it doesn't rotate, but do you guys even know how it works? I think it
I
literally
don't
just
know how it
vibrates. Exactly, and it doesn't even say that in the first like couple slides
No.
on the page.
Like if you look at all the other ones, they'll show you how it gets in between your teeth. It's like, what the hell? Yeah. So isn't that what a toothbrush does? It gets in between your teeth.
And I think that's why they're strong. They're assuming and they're letting you know that they know you know.
Yeah.
That it does that. Of course it does that. We're not going to tell you it gets in your teeth. It should do that anyway. Of course it
Exactly.
does that. They make
Right.
you feel smart.
Exactly. It's like somebody coming to a marketing company and we're like, yeah, we're going to make you money. It's like, yeah, but isn't that what you're hiring us to do?
Right.
Like, you know.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So like, it's that's what people attach to. That's what people and I think like my biggest thing with this podcast, whether this episode is like, doesn't matter how small you are, right? Like whatever your goals are, whatever size store you have, it's never too small, because first of all, if you should be in a space that has millions of people doing it, and if you're not, you know, you're going to have some proprietary product, which could be a good thing too, right? Big fish in small pond, right? Something. But you could do this, like we were just like we talk about like our messaging, right? Like what our messaging is like here, right? And it's kind of like changed a little bit, but like if somebody came to our website and it said like, we help small to medium size e-commerce companies make more money, even though I just said make more money, they should know. But the point I'm trying to make is like that message is clear, concise, and to the point. We help small to medium sized businesses get more leads. How much more does it have to be than that? And everything you do should also come back to that, right? Like all your messaging should come back to that, right? To that message.
And I think it still is, even that message, how clear it is and how short and sweet it is, and it's right to the point. It still is like what we do. It's not why we do it. And I think, it's like saying what the toothbrush is. This is a great toothbrush that's going to brush your teeth really cool, and like that's not what they're selling. They're selling the story behind the toothbrush and why you should be a part of it.
Right, but okay. I mean, yes, we're playing on words a little bit there, because I think the sentence that I said, you can change like one or two words, and it now all of a sudden becomes a why. But it's sort of like the same thing. I mean,
I think a big portion of our why is the experience they get working with us and you guys, is that it's like talking to a friend. We always say how casual we are and how you guys, bicker, and they get that experience. So I think exactly what Jason said, followed by our messaging and our branding needs to be the experience you get. It's not like you're calling some weird agency and you're never going to get through to them and you're talking like all this, corporate political nonsense to get through. It's directly to you guys, and it's very personable, and you guys care about their success. So that's like the foundation of our why.
Differentiating yourself from people who are, going to say the same thing is like Jason said, like you're most likely in a market where there's a lot of different products like yours selling, and it's successful because of that. Is like if you just look at what you are, you're just competing with, even Amazon. Like that's what Amazon is. It's like, I forget what I was listening to, but like having Amazon is like a vending machine where you go there and it's convenient, it's there. If you're just basing your product on like price or convenience, you're just competing with a big pool of other brands that are trying to do the same thing.
And if somebody does it better than Amazon, people aren't going to stay. Right? There's no brand loyalty at that point. We talked about this with this company that we met with. Right? We basically said like, put me in China, right? Or you, or any of you guys. Put a New York Rangers jersey on me. Put Albert, who is a Ranger fan, in China with a Rangers jersey on. We're not going to say we like the way the Rangers skate on the ice, right? We're going to say, dude, we're both New Yorkers. I mean, like the Rangers. I mean, how awesome is Madison Square Garden? You go there, it's like this. It's the story. It's not like the players change, right? And they're just hockey players, just like the other team that they're playing. And like the guys, we can love the guys when they're on the Rangers, and then the next day they go play for Montreal and we hate them.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not the guys, it's not how they skate, it's not how they shoot the puck or stop the puck or whatever the hell they're doing. It's what the Rangers stand for, right? And everybody who doesn't like the Rangers and like the other people who like the Islanders, they're just like the outcasts, right? They're the people that don't like that the Rangers are all those things, right?
But that's why they're a part of that.
And they're a part of that. It's like the Yankees and the Mets, right? The Mets are just like outlier people that don't like the message behind the Yankees. I'm the other way. The Yankees are powerful. They're strong. They're always like have the money. Like to me, I like that.
And you connect with someone who feels the same way as you. You two individuals now have a connection because of that.
Exactly. But it's not because I like Yankee Stadium. It's not because I like, maybe I don't really like their colors, but it's not like that's like, it's because of what it represents. It represents New York. And I'm a New Yorker. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what this is about. Like, if it represents these people, right? And the people are your customers.
Yeah.
So I think like that's like, and I use that analogy a lot.
Yes, you do.
And I think it might even be start with why. I might not even have made that up. I don't even remember.
I think it is. I think
It's-
yeah, I believe. I don't remember. I can't now. At this point, I can't remember if you said it or he said it because I'm reading the book or I'm reading the book. I'm listening to the book at the same time that Jason says it every couple minutes.
But I mean, it's true. And I think I did hear it from Simon, and I do think that, like, I heard about it years ago, and I do think that it's a really powerful thing when you can be. And I think what's even more powerful than that is, like, you're in a foreign place, but you see something that is
familiar
to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And, like, you instantly know what it's like to be a Ranger fan. You instantly know the experiences you get when you go to Madison Square Garden and watch a hockey game, right? Like, when I tell people, like, that don't watch hockey, and they're like, I always say, forget about hockey. You got to go see what it's like to watch a Ranger game. It's like nothing else. Kevin goes to see the Devils. That's like watching, like,
I don't go to see the Devils. When do I go see the Devils?
Didn't you say you went to go see
I do. I'm not a big
like the
hockey
Devils.
fan.
Right.
I've been when I was
But
a kid.
I like watching hockey. There's like watching hockey live is like one of the best experiences.
whether you like hockey or
Right.
not, because it's fast. It's like,
I can't watch it on TV
energetic.
though.
I can't follow the puck on TV. I can't see it.
Yeah. But the point is like, think about what I'm explaining. I'm not saying, like, they just redid the floor with this new granite and, like, now it's easier to buy food and, like, the seats you can see so much better. Like, that's not the story.
You haven't even mentioned, like, we had this argument right before we came back from California about the Rangers. Actually, you haven't even mentioned that they've been to the playoffs for the last 10 years, which is a point that you brought to me. That's not part of why.
Yeah, their success doesn't matter.
Like, I'm a 49er fan, and it's like that's a tough situation right now. But I'm not part of that fan group because they've won. Well, they have won, but not recently won a bunch of championships. It's far beyond the product. So I think that's what it is. Like, it's not an easy process. It's not easy to find your messaging properly. Look beyond what the product is. Forget about your product.
Yeah,
for a
but
minute.
you can be patient with it, because even like this trip to California, just amongst us, it's changed just by sitting there hashing it out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they thought it was one thing. They thought they had a message. Some of them did. Others didn't, right? To be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Even you felt like, you thought the message should have been one thing, but you kind of, like, changed after really, like, thinking about it and maybe, like, hearing all sides of it. Now you're like, oh, yeah, you know what? So it's like, it's a process that you're not going to get right the first time.
And you got to talk it out with people. Sometimes it's not it's not enough to just have that internal conversation with yourself. If you're a sole, entrepreneur, I would say, like, go talk to people, network with people, just ask them questions. Like, we were out with actually, one of the guys from this business. We were out to lunch after we played golf, and he just asked, the waitress, like, what's her goals? I'm not going to talk about the product, but what was her goal revolved around this certain product? And that's the kind of things you do to kind of, like, pull it out of people other than yourself, because sometimes you're in it so deep, like I said, that you just can't. Like, I think it's hard for us to find our message because we're so deep into it.
Yeah, and I think Simon talks about this, and the reason why we're talking about Simon so much is, number one, he talks about this a lot, and these guys are reading the book. I read it a while back, but he talks about having, like, going to people and saying, what do you think of me when you think of me, right? Like, when you think of Jason Caruso and what I like, what do you think of, right? For me, it's always golf, right? Like, everybody knows I love golf, right? Kevin is probably the 49ers. Like, everybody knows.
Oh my God.
But the point is like, go ask people what they think of you as it relates to your business.
And how they feel about you, I guess. I haven't gotten to that part in the book yet, but yeah, you can, like, no one's going to describe what you look like, right? Or things, maybe they'll talk about, like, the hobbies you like, but most of your close friends or family are going to describe how you make them feel.
Exactly.
Jason's super energetic. Kevin's really calming. Oh, I can always go to them for
That's
something.
a nice
They'll
word
make me
for
laugh.
saying annoying. No, me, not you.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's how you make them feel, and you have to think of that sort of thing with a brand.
And Simon says that, he talks.
Simon
about
says.
Simon says.
Yeah, but for me, like, even thinking if I would say golf for you, it wouldn't be like you hitting the golf ball. It would be you being so deep into this sport that it goes far beyond the actual playing of the sport.
Right, like I've talked to you about golf shafts, and you're like, where did you come up with this information from?
Man, when we were playing, I'm not that as into it as you. We went and played golf with another guy from this company, and the two of you really, like, you connected.
Well, he's into it.
Yeah, and you were talking about, like, short cut it, or what the hell was it called when you cut it down to make it stiffer?
A soft step and hard step.
I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Yes.
But you guys had that immediate connection with each other.
The thing about him, I'm going to tell you something. He gave the impression that he doesn't really, like, care. Like, golf was just like this thing.
Right.
That dude is into it.
Yeah.
He is into it.
Yeah.
He came, he looked like he's supposed to be, he looked like Tiger Woods. He was dressed, everything was matching perfectly. And he knew soft stepping or hard stepping golf clubs is something you do when you're tuning it perfectly.
You might as well be speaking Chinese to me right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't have to go into it. But the point is, he wanted us to think that he wasn't really into this. He was really
he was
into
chill, man. He was a great guy.
He was a great guy. But it just goes back to it. Like you said, him and I really connected. He's texting me, and this guy's one of the top guys at this company, right? And he's texting me afterward, like, how much fun he had.
He wanted to be sneaky good, I think. He didn't want to get off the impression that he was good. Like, for you want everyone to know you're good. Like, before you go.
That's why I get so mad.
You should take a page out of his book.
That's
when
we first, you're over promising almost a little bit. Like, the first time we played, all I heard was how great you are and how great, and then you're like, you got
shot an 80.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about L.A. I must have 3-putted like 9 greens.
Really?
Yeah, the first green I missed a little birdie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like about this
yeah,
far.
you were terrible. Your putting was terrible.
My putting was horrible. You know how many par 3s I was pin high, like 10 feet away, and I 3-putt?
Yeah, I did. I 3-putted at least 2 par 3s.
But yeah.
Sorry, you guys are done talking about that now.
But yeah,
Nice one,
I
Paul.
mean, we instantly connected because we had the same.
You guys were comparing shafts. It was perfect.
Who's a stiffer? And
Oh my God, we're losing this one now. We got
They really
no, but I think it's important. I think it's important to know to put it really in context. Like, there's a reason that's happening, right? Like, we're thinking about hiring someone, and I'm not going to get into particulars with this, but we're thinking about hiring someone. It's Albert's friend, and like, what's the first thing he said? Politically, he's the same as you, and he like exactly. Like, it's like I like the guy already. I don't even know him.
He said he drinks. I was like, awesome.
Right. So think about how we interact and how we explain things. Dude, if you went and like just listen to the way you explain things, everything is in a story. Everything is like, I went to China and saw this kid. I wouldn't even remember his name. Right? Like, think about like what happened to me on the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I met these guys, right? You see me, we didn't sit together on the way home from California. You're coming down the escalator, and me and this big giant football player are like
hugging each other
and shaking hands.
Bros.
I even forgot that I do remember his name because we switched numbers, but like the conversation about like entrepreneurship, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
I had a much different experience on the airplane. The very back corner, that was brutal.
Well, I mean, and you're kind of boring, so you probably didn't talk to anybody.
Oh
I mean,
my
that's
God.
probably on top of it. So,
Well, anyway, it's about connecting with your customers the same way Jason's
Correct.
saying he had a connection with another person.
Yes.
Because of similarities, because of a lifestyle and image.
and people will like latch on to that.
And I even like, speaking of that, like Jake, the guy who reached out to us, like I felt more of a connection with him as soon as he said he was going to Oakland to watch a football game.
Right.
Yeah.
There was an instant, common thing there.
There's an instant thing, and we like, we like that familiarity.
There you go.
And that's what you want to, that's the kind of bond you want with your customers, right? You want people to connect with you because customers will come and go. Like I always say they're cyclical, right? They come and go, but like your base, those guys who really are going to grow your business for you are going to latch on to, what you're about and what the message is.
And they really will, because even Paul said it yesterday, is like the number one thing that's going to help you grow your business is people talking about your product, and they're going to trust that more than they're going to trust how great you say your product is.
Well, when someone recommends you, there's no sale. There's no selling. It's like, I use this product. It's awesome. They're a great company, and you should go use them. And that's the extent. That's it. People just, the relationship, you trust the relationship, you just go do it.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and in that way, you're not even buying the product for the product. You're buying it based off your trust with somebody else, and then you're buying into that brand because someone recommended it.
Right.
So you're not buying the product, you're buying the brand.
Right. Exactly. So, guys, stop the email service that you're using now. Go to ecommerceuncensored.com/email. It will redirect you to Klaviyo. And then go to ecommerceuncensored.com/Facebook. That will redirect you to our Facebook group. We hope to see you guys in there. And honestly, if you haven't left Klaviyo by now, I don't know what you're waiting for.
If you haven't
You're
left
dead,
Klaviyo,
you're dead
I'm
to
sorry.
us. If you,
if you haven't joined
If you
Klaviyo.
haven't joined, I meant to say left for Klaviyo. I don't know what you're doing. Do it now. They're awesome. The platform will make you money.
Very good. Anyway. All right, cool. This has been episode number 98. You can always check us out at e-commerce. I forgot what I was going to say there for a second. As always, you can check us out at ecommerceuncensored.com, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.
Later.
Adios.